Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, we have already technically done this, but that list came out in 2018 and quite a lot has changed since. Some PS4 exclusives came out and amazed, others didn't. With Ghost of Tsushima now out, which will almost certainly be the final huge-scale PS4 exclusive we see before the PlayStation 5, it's time for one final look at the best games on the PlayStation 4 that you can't find anywhere else. That means it can't be on the Xbox One, PC, or even the Switch. No other PS system for that matter, because exclusive means exclusive. Remasters are also excluded to stick to this formula. The Last of Us Remastered unfortunately cannot make the cut for that reason, but remakes are all good though. Oh, don't forget that Horizon is coming to PC, so we've dropped it off this list entirely. As for timed PS4 exclusives, such as Final Fantasy VII Remake, we are completely avoiding those. Without further ado, here are the essential PS4 only games you can't find anywhere else. This is just a little spoiler though, which might not be a surprise for those who watched our review. Yeah, The Last of Us Part 2 didn't make the top 10. Number 10, Dreams. Even though it's already been out of early access, the first time that's happened with a PS4 exclusive game by the way, for a while, Dreams is such a replete and resplendent game that can only get better and better as time goes on. While the game continues to grow and expand, it looks like the only thing that will hold you back is the limits of your own imagination. Effectively a starter kit for game development, Dreams gives you all the tools you need to make something totally new or a homage. If you manage to miss out on PT, Dreams has you covered. Hell, you don't even need to make games thanks to the game's music production side. Basically, if you can think of it, you can make it. Look, if you're going to remake big rigs but as an arena fighter within Dreams, nobody here is going to judge you. Shit, we might even help you. 9. Gravity Rush 2. The original Gravity Rush was a fantastic game that failed because of the commercial limitations of the hardware it was found on. The PS Vita has had one of the most drawn-out funerals in gaming history, but despite this, Gravity Rush still managed to find its way into cult and critical adoration. It even managed to get itself remastered for the PS4. Fast forward a few years, and with Sony still forgetting that the Vita exists, Gravity Rush 2 exclusively came to PlayStation 4 early in 2017. It does a lot of the same things as the original, while also adding a few neat gameplay tweaks, but the main gimmick remains the same, being able to fly around the air like a balloon with the air going out. Cat and Raven returned and brought with them just as much acclaim. If you're put off by the Japanese-ness of it all, don't be, it's just part of what makes it so great. While a lot of people like to criticise Sony's recent first-party games as feeling a bit too safe and similar, this is anything but. Number 8, Until Dawn. Its detractors might say that it isn't much of a game, but don't listen to them. Until Dawn is one of the greatest horror games ever made and easily one of the best you can find available on PlayStation 4. An engaging storyline, ease of accessibility, and a trope-poking script make this an essential horror. Gameplay is basic, which might dissuade some people, but it actually aids in your investment with what's going on in Supermassive Games' intricate, insular world. They have really struggled to match this gem of an interactive narrative in the years since, but it must have been lightning in a bottle for them, or a butterfly in flowers, eh? Hey! If you're ever in the mood for a horror game that can tell as good a story as it can make you revert to the fetal position, Until Dawn should certainly be at the top of your list. 7. Persona 5 Royal. We're kind of bending our own rules with this, but we'll allow it if you do. While Persona 5 is also available on PlayStation 3 and therefore not a PS4 exclusive, Persona 5 Royal, an updated version of the game with new content, can only be found on Sony's latest. The good news, if you've never played Persona 5 before, Royal is a brilliant entry point. Better yet, even if you've already lost much of your social life to the original, the fact there's a new school semester, tons of unlockable bonus content, and even a new addition to your party means it's worth indulging 100+ hours all over again. Following a group of school kids as they lead second lives as the phantom thieves of hearts on their mission to steal evil from the hearts of adults, Persona 5 is just begging to become your next big obsession. Hey, if you're looking to waste some time until the PlayStation 5 comes out, this game has you sorted. 6. Shadow of the Colossus. Previously given a small lick of paint as a remaster on PlayStation 3, Shadow of the Colossus finally received the full makeover it deserves with its remake for PS4. Bluepoint, who previously worked on the Uncharted remasters for the same platform, paid a lot of respect to the source material and didn't deviate too far away from what made the original such a classic. While it still has a couple of control issues, Bluepoint succeeded in bridging a gap between old players looking for a nostalgia buzz and new players who had never had the pleasure of guiltily stabbing wondrous creatures in the brain. Regardless, Shadow of the Colossus may not have been 2018's biggest PS4 exclusive, but its grandeur and heartbreaking themes haven't lost any of their sheen all of these years later. How much money you want to bet it comes out on PS5 as well? We wouldn't be mad. Number 5. Ghost of Tsushima. The last big PS4 exclusive before we move into the next generation delivered exactly what many of its fans were after. Brilliant samurai action with a gorgeous landscape worth sinking hours and hours into exploring each and every secret it has to offer. You play as Jin Sakai, one of the last remaining samurai following the Mongol invasion of the Japanese island of Tsushima. Jin must resort to some unsavoury tactics to stand a chance against the Horde. What this means for you is plenty of backstabbing and sneaky tactics, which comes together to make one of the most effective stealth games out there. You don't have to play that way though. You can challenge your enemies head on, and with honour, the game's brilliant standoff system never fails to make you feel incredible when you slice and dice your way through enemies. Sure, some parts of Tsushima are derivative, like an open world best of checklist, but it doesn't matter when its whole is this enjoyable, and Tsushima is such a gorgeous landscape to explore. 4. Bloodborne. From Software know how to create grueling masterpieces, and Bloodborne is certainly no exception. Separate from the Dark Souls games with the same unmistakable formula of trial, error and reward, Bloodborne might just be up there as the best Souls-like game ever made. A nightmarish Yharnam is yours to explore and be killed in, lots and lots, with it having a fascinating story to uncover behind its walls, nooks and crannies. The uninitiated might struggle with the insane difficulty spikes and the unconventional combat, but once Bloodborne has you, it refuses to let go. Even when you're visiting the same land for what seems like the 100th time after yet another death, it's irresistible and euphoric once you finally make some progress. What makes Bloodborne so brilliant is that while it may initially appear similar to Dark Souls, they're actually different beasts when you pick apart their bones. Bloodborne is a far more aggressive time with a Lovecraftian slant, though they both share the hallmarks of a From Software game, punishing, unrelenting difficulty. If you're a PlayStation 4 owner and don't have Bloodborne, we are reporting you for console negligence and abuse, especially with it being previously free on PlayStation Plus. Rumours persist of a sequel, though that's more likely for PS5 at this point. Number 3. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. We all knew this would place highly, and rightly so. With the PS4 nearing the end of its life, few PS4 games have been able to squeeze every drop of life out of it quite like Uncharted 4 does, its cinematic scenes dripping with visuals that will remind you why you fell in love with gaming to begin with. The set pieces are jaw-dropping, the narrative compelling, and Nathan Drake's dad jokes just as awful. While not a revolution for the franchise, it's the sheer spectacle of Uncharted 4 that makes it such a compelling bay. From historical architecture to pirate havens, and all the destruction Drake brings with him, Uncharted 4 is a worldwide adventure that serves as a brilliant end to Nathan Drake's story. There's also something to be said for grappling across a large gap before landing on top of someone and punching the jaw out of their arse, all while Drake makes knock-knock jokes. Away from all the action, the family drama bubbling in the background is just as compelling. See you around, Drake. It's been real. Number 2. Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man feels like a throwback in the best ways. Packed with content not locked behind a paywall, players can earn upgrades through just playing the game, which itself is a remarkable thing. With this release, we can finally stop looking back on Spider-Man 2 as the pinnacle of the Spidey adaptions. With an attention to detail that is second to none, a fun and fluid combat system, and a refreshing hybrid of ideas old and new, it's quite simply the best superhero game ever released. There's so much to see and do in Marvel's Spider-Man long past the point of its story wrapping up, including just swinging around for hours and appreciating how damn great it feels. As well as plenty of opportunities to act out as the web swinger, Marvel's Spider-Man is also one of the easiest platinum trophies around, though that doesn't mean it's any less rewarding to dust off. And at number 1 of the best PS4 exclusive games of all time, God of War. God of War has changed, and so has its protagonist, and all for the better too. Kratos' debut on the PlayStation 4 was a long wait, but boy was it worth it. It feels like the culmination of the series, the zenith of multiple games in a beloved franchise, and the biggest example of why drastic changes aren't always something to be worried about. You get the sense that God of War is squeezing every drop of power out of the PS4. It's almost staggering what the guys at Santa Monica were capable of with hardware that is over half a decade in age. It all takes place in one glorious shot, including the side quests, a movie of redemption that you're front and centre for. The combat system that evolves as the game progresses, a stunning sense of spectacle, especially on a PS4 Pro, and a feel of final polish that is missing from so many big games. God of War is the best PS4 exclusive there is, and a testament to the power of single-player games. But it could also just prove to be the game of its generation. It's hard to think of any other PS4 exclusive games that might capture as many plaudits as God of War. The thing has been a phenomenon, a title that's earned so many rave reviews from critics and gamers alike as the best PS4 game released to date, possibly even to the surprise of Sony themselves. And there you have it, folks, that is our best PS4 exclusive games of all time list. The second one, but don't worry about it. But with that said and that done, how did you feel about the list? Did you agree? Did you disagree? As ever, let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like, subscribing to the Cultured Vultures channel if you haven't already, and please do also check out all of the other social media, including the Cultured Vultures website, at the links on screen now. We hope to see you in the next one, but until then, caw-caw.